Meow, Huples cat. I'm going to copy some maps today. I have unlimited printing, 700 pages for free printing a month for the first 6 months with my deal with HP Ink. So I subscribe to this. Not really a big fan of Insta Ink things, but it is HP. I have HP. I wanted HP, and for the printer, and I'm going to use this. I have 700 free pages for the first 6 months per month. That's a lot of printing, so I'm going to print a lot of maps and copy a lot of them as well. I could download them to the computer, I'm not going to. In Canada, I don't have a service like I believe you have in the States where I can go online and get 1 in 25,000 topographical maps online, anywhere I want. And I know the United Kingdom has the odd survey maps, which are just absolutely fantastic. And if you've ever used them, you'll know what I mean. They're just brilliant. But these maps go down to buildings and outbuildings as little dots. So there's lots of uses for this. So I'll do some printing, and then I'll talk about what the use of the map's going to be, and I'll try and make sure I don't blow my location. I have very detailed maps of the whole area that we're now in. For obvious reasons, I really want to know where I am. And the maps are very, very nice, and I don't want to take them out and about. I have 2 copies of maps that I had before, 2 of the same brand as this, and I have actually got them in my kayak gear, and they're all folded up and crinkled because I use them principally for the 3 major lakes around here. But it's time to do some work. So these are Government of Canada maps, and as you can see, it's topographical, so I can see how high or how low I have to walk and how difficult it is, and where the water is, where the roads are, and where the buildings are. The buildings are the black dots and the white patch on the left. So because I'm getting 700 pages a month for free for the first little while, first 6 months, I'm using photo. I'm not just doing document copy because I might as well. Like I said, I could easily scan this to the computer, but I'm not going to. And what I will come up with is little maps. The little maps will be of the lakes that I want to use, and it'll also be of the local area. On the local area maps, there's little dots, and the little dots are buildings. And one of the things I'll be doing this winter and next is I'll be taking notice by snow of who goes into and out of different cottages and farm buildings around here in the winter. Population plunges once the snow's on the ground. Because in SHTF, if it's a wintertime event, or even not, it's nice to know which are the occupied buildings, which are not. Because very early on, one of my things will be using bicycles and snowshoes and kayaks, will be to go around and raid and liberate any food supplies that are in buildings that are unoccupied, because that is a lot less risky than going door to door, hoping there's nobody living there with a shotgun. Okay, so it works kind of okay, except the first one has this. So I'm going to reposition and redo it and hold it properly. So this is going to be fairly labour intensive. I'll spay the whole thing. But once it's done, I can just take these and copy them a lot faster and easier than holding this big map. And I have the maps in reserve as backups in case I ever run out of these things. And the whole concept of this is that I will know my area because I'll be travelling through my area, but I'll be using topographical maps so I can sight landmarks, and I can also journey mostly during the day using the sun for orientation and compasses at night, and actually get myself all around the area even if the roads are impassable. Which in an area like this, if there is a grid down, the roads will be impassable quite quickly, both by snow and then later on by undermining by rivers. There's lots of streams and rivers around here. These roads won't last more than a season, maybe 2, without external gasoline powered repair. So yeah, I'm a lot happy with this map, and I will continue onwards with them. So I've done one map, and I've got about 6 sheets from the map that I want to actually keep and use, and I want to copy them, so I want to have more than one copy. So because I don't really know where I live, the top copy is a blank piece of paper. And now through the magic of editing. So I've now got 5 copies of each of those maps, which is more than enough, and if I run out I just take one of the last copies and copy it again. You can laminate these. I'm not going to, environmental reasons. I'd rather just have the paper and reuse it. This is a really critical function. To have decent topographical maps as fine-grained as you can of your area, absolutely critical. So something I noticed on this printer, if you select document copy, you actually get much less colour in the document than if you select photo. So I've done a covered photo. This is a local street we're on, and we're going to walk up and down it, and it's got the houses all marked on there, and all the lakes and all the major streams and all the up and downs, of which there's a lot of up and downs around here. I'm going to definitely get fitter. You should also do this for things like Google Maps, both in satellite view and also other views. You can use Street View if you want to get some fine detail of places. For example, if there's a factory that you may wish to enter and grid down, you might want to get copies of the photographs of the entrances and all around it, not with a view to stealing, but with a view to repossessing and reusing stuff that nobody else can use in a grid down situation. The time to get this information together is before a collapse happens. Hopefully the collapse won't happen, but if it does, having decent maps and photographs and know how to get into and out of places and where the hills are and where the streams are and where the forests are and the lakes are is absolutely critical to surviving and thriving in your local area. It will take most people an adjustment period before they start raiding. They're going to go house to house to house, and as I said, around here, if you try that, you might get shot. But there's going to be a lot of cottages that are abandoned or people haven't been able to get to them. And in those places, I see nothing wrong with going in a full collapse scenario and repossessing stuff like fishing rods and kayaks and tins of beans and even little tins of propane and sleeping bags for use for the wider community going forward in time from whatever the event or events are that caused the collapse. So I got 2 more maps to do. What we're doing is 5 copies of the different parts, and that was my main map. That's why I did 5 sections of it. Some of them are repeated but from different angles, so I have A4 going this way and A4 going this way because I really want to be orientated. I really want to know what's in my local area. And I suggest you spend half a day or a few hours a day. If you have, I think it's the UGS or whatever it is the Americans have, get there, print them out. Don't just rely on files on your computer or on your phone. Make sure you have physical hard copies. Make sure you have enough physical hard copies to share them. Make sure that the copies are kept up to date as far as you can, and make sure that you're not spending a huge amount printing them out. Like I say, for me, for the first 6 months it's pretty much free, so I'm going to take advantage. Of course nothing's free, but I'm going to take advantage. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any other tips for map use, let me know in the comments below, or even do a VR to this. We're happy to discuss it. But I believe it's critical not to be GPS dependent, which is why I don't use GPS unless I'm forced to in the car or when I'm walking around anywhere. I like to look and I like to think and I like to know from maps where I am. Old school, but in the collapse scenario, old school is going to be new school, and you better be up to speed with using old school technology and old school tricks to both navigate and survive in a world without internet, without electricity. Toodles. This has been a 2021 Arctic Terrier production.